Hello everyone and welcome to episode 8, I believe it is, of this Let's Play series in Skylines 2. Now in the last episode I started to get some issues with the commercial sectors where we were getting the not enough customers alert coming up on nearly every section of commercial, which is not a good sign. And after looking into it a bit more, I think it has something to do with how Skylines 2 wants the commercial sectors to be broken up into the residential sectors, not all piled in the same grid. Like in Skylines 1, you could just make a grid and put commercial all inside and it would sort of be okay. And as you can see now, I'm getting quite a lot of alerts for not enough customers. So to try and combat that in this episode, I'm going to remove parts of the commercial sectors and place residential within, or next to them, which might cause complaints for noise, but I don't see how else to deal with that, because as far as I can see, if we take a look down here, I have a very small commercial sector in the middle of here, and they're complaining with not enough customers. And if you look around, there's residential all over this sector. So I don't see why they would complain for not enough customers. And then the same with this section, not enough customers here, here and here. Yet we've got all of these residential buildings right next to it. So I'm very unclear on how many commercial buildings are appropriate for these sections. But we'll try and figure it out in this episode. So I'm just going to remove these abandoned buildings quickly. There's one behind there. And if I zoom out quickly, there is one thing I wanted to address before. This section where the bridge is, I actually wanted to make the water flow under the bridge. So I'm going to quickly do some landscaping. And we have a new signature building. Vertigo Square. Okay, we'll put that down at some point. For now, we're going to use the terrain tool and turn this into a little river. Now, I'm not really the best when it comes to terrain. I'm very bad at it, but we'll give it a go. I've already just made a massive hole in the water, which I didn't mean to do. But we're going to bring this, I think the strength I'm going to bring down to 10. Actually, that's too low. Let's bring that up to 20. There we go. That's much better. And we're just going to make this water basically flow all the way through to this edge section here. There is absolutely no reason for doing this whatsoever. I just think it's going to make the area look nice. Have a little river flowing through somewhere for the citizens to look out on. And we'll open this bit up a bit wider just so the water can flow through. And as you can see, it's now rushing through the area. I think if we just join this bit up, the water might flow a bit faster, because it doesn't look very high in here, and I don't know if that's... Let's come off of the terrain tool. Okay, it's the same height. I don't mind that. It's obviously the edges look like it's just a cliff face where people can fall in, but I don't think it looks that bad. It adds a different sort of touch to the map, having some water flowing through the middle rather than just keeping that as a mini bridge and not much really going on that side. So let's have a look at these commercial buildings. The ones that haven't got enough customers, I think what I'm going to do is remove them. So let's pause the game. I don't know if this is the best course of action. I don't know if this is going to cause any issues with the game, income, the city, land value, or anything. But I'm just going to remove them and we'll find out what happens. Let's remove this one as well. And just have to remember to de-zone the areas, because otherwise they will just rebuild shops again. The thing I don't understand as well in the game is you have demand for commercial, but then when it's all built, then you're getting not enough customers. You think the demand would just remain low and they wouldn't build as many shops, but I don't know what the logic of the game is. So for now, we're just going to start removing these areas. And let's see if there's one over here. There's a lot of commercial areas here. Let's remove that one. And then I'll just monitor it as the game goes on, because that's all you can do really. There might be more that pop up. There's some up the top here as well. Let's remove these. Again, at the moment, this is just one strip of commercial, and I'm going to have residential building all around this area. So let's just quickly pause that so I can de-zone without anything building. And we'll just see what happens. See if the map changes. I'm getting more pop-up down here now. I don't know if anything's going to change with that, but we'll see. I just want to have a look at this district because I want to add some roadside parking fees to the district to try and get some money in. Some of the videos that I've seen about this game say that you can actually put the roadside parking fee up to maximum and people will pay it. I'm also going to put energy consumption on just to try and save electricity. Now let's have a look. Roadside parking fee. So I'm going to bring that straight up to $50. There's a comfortable wealth here, so I think this could work. And I've also just seen recycling, and I am going to turn that on as well. Because I've got a recycling centre, I don't know whether that needs to be on for the recycling centre to work. So let's have all three of those on, and we'll see what happens with the city. It could, my view is, if you're pushing recycling, it's green energy, energy saving. There's the roadside parking fee, obviously is not an attraction for land value, but the other two I think can bring in some land value. I could be wrong. So we could get some more citizens moving to the area. Now, I do want to add another district because we have this district here. I do want this top part to be a district, but not yet. And then I want to make a separate district just on the edge of here. For now, it's just going to be this square, and I'll expand it once I build out this city a bit more. So we will place Blackwood Downs. I like that name, Blackwood Downs. We'll have that as a district. I'm also going to have a roadside parking fee here, energy consumption and recycling. And I'll just bring the roadside parking fee up to maximum. And apparently the average wealth here is wealthy. So they might actually not mind spending the money on roadside parking. I was hoping it would bring my profit up a bit higher, but it doesn't look like it has. That's due to the schools and extra buildings we added in, like the fire stations, for example. So we're going to remove these two buildings here. It is going to look ugly to start with because we're going to have gaps in where the buildings are, but I will fix that at a later date. I just want to remove these for now and see if we can start increasing. We are starting to get some demand for industrial again. So what I might do is add... The problem is this is going to look like a very busy area if I add industrial more and more to this section. And I think people watching will say, you've got such a small area in this map, you're trying to build everything in. And I think that is going to become an issue. So what I might do is open up some of the tiles on this side of the map and start constructing some industry down here. And we'll start moving on to this side just to add some variation while we grow the city. So if I just come to the map tile tool, now we've got 7 here. I think that's 6 tiles. The problem is most of this is water. So if I actually remove those 2, and I could purchase those 3 so we can start building industry down here. Let's do that. Let's just check our resources quickly. Now that's interesting. We do have fertile land there, which means this is the tricky part, because I have fertile land that's good for growing stuff. Do I utilise that there, or do I continue building the city on this side where I was going to and add some industry there? I think I would like to do some farming, which we could do in this section. I'm not going to add anything in just yet. We'll do that in a second. I do notice we have some more customer complaints over in this section, so we're just going to get rid of them. Unfortunately, the businesses cannot survive at the moment. We will remove the zoning there, and there seems to be some... The ground seems to be changing the same colour. It almost looks as if there's zoning on there, but there isn't. There's accidents down here, so we have just turned into a profit as well. That's likely due to the fact that we're now saving energy, recycling, and I'm charging money for people parking their cars in the streets, which is a good sign. We always want to be in positive for the money. Now, I don't think I've unlocked intersections. Let's see if they're in the progression panel. So they are on, I've got 5 points and they are on the next one, which costs 4, which is a shame because I would like to add the intersection in to start building this part off. However, I don't think that's going to work. Let's have a look at some of the other things we need here. We have here, sorry. I am going to unlock the helicopter depot in preparation for any forest fires. I know I need to build the actual area to do that. They're too much. I know I actually need to build the building, sorry, not the area to do that, but we can handle that later. In terms of the trees, I know the trees grow in the game. I was debating that when planting these ones, but I have read that they do grow over time. The question is, if you plant trees and they grow, can you still harvest or farm the wood? So if that's the case, I would start placing a lot of trees down near the areas that I'm farming. But I don't want to jump to conclusions there, just in case. I am going to place some trees down in this area though. Or actually, no, I was going to place some trees, but I believe we can actually extend these buildings. So I might leave that for a second. What we'll do, I think I've just changed my mind. In a later episode, I'm going to come in and just do all the trees, build some paths, make areas look a bit nicer. And for now, we'll continue with getting this industry zone built. Without intersections, this is going to be challenging because I'm going to have to build the intersection myself. Unless I just draw a bridge straight across, which I don't really want to do. And we've not got much space to play with here. So, how to do this. We'll use a one-way road and bring it slightly off that section. I'm pretty sure I had that as a one-way road, but it's not. Oh, it has. It's got an arrow on it now. It's just hidden by that, so you can't tell it's a one-way road. So that means traffic can come off this way. And then what I will do is have a roundabout here. Have another one-way road joining there. So traffic can come on and come off. It's probably not wise to have a slip road joining as soon as somebody comes off, just in case there's any accidents, but we'll go with it. The other side is going to be the tricky part because we need to build a bridge. Now, I think what we're going to do is bring this off at the same section and then we'll start raising. And what I want to do is bring it around. It's not letting me join for some reason. I don't believe I can join the highway. That's going to be a challenge because I wanted this road to be curved. Let's try. That works. Although, before I finish this road off, let's just look what's happened here. No, that's okay. As I said, this isn't going to look amazing. This is just for the initial access of this traffic. And what's going on here? For some reason it wouldn't let me add the road in there. It's just for the access for this industrial area we're building now. So this should be a one-way road coming in this way, and then we also need one going the other way, which I haven't really thought this through. This is going to be a bit of a challenge. I'm going to turn the snapping off because I want this to be directly in the middle. We're going to have to bring it. Hang on, I've just done that flat and I didn't mean to. We're going to need the complex curve selected. If I bring it to this direction and then start to raise, I think this is going to be I don't know where this is going now. We've kind of come across the top, which isn't what I wanted to do. I kind of wanted to come through the middle, but I don't think the slopes are going to allow me to come through this section here because the gaps are just too small. So instead, I am going to keep it where it is now. And again, I know this looks terrible, but I don't know what's happening with the road here. It's actually, I think, jumping over the power lines, which is crazy. I don't know why it's... I guess the power lines are hanging too low. This is interesting. Maybe... I think the power lines are touching actually. I'm just seeing if I can bring the road directly straight. Nope, it won't work. This is tricky. I could delete the power lines and just move them slightly. Just this one section. It will look odd for now. Let's just... We'll do a diagonal path there. This still might catch on the edge, but we'll see. This means now I should be able to, if I make this curve correct, we'll just come back again. And then I'm going to bring it to here, and then bring the elevation down to join like that on a slip road. And this is probably the worst looking intersection I've ever seen in my life, but it's going to work for now. And I just want to check what we've got on here. If this is a stop sign, no U-turn and a yield. That's actually very, very good. The game's understood, obviously, when you join to a highway, it's yielding. So I don't know what the road signs are here. One way and parking. I don't really want parking on the street, but I can't imagine any cars parking where there's no buildings. So I don't need to change any of that by the looks of it, and all of these slip roads seem like they work. The roundabout's going to become probably quite busy, I can imagine. We're going to need a 2-lane road coming off of the roundabout to there. Let's just have a look at how that looks. Very busy. And now we can start building some industry down here. I'm going to put snapping back on for now. I'm going to bring this road at a curve and then another curve just to make it not so straight and boring like most of the roads are. We're going to need a road coming off in this direction, and then I'm actually going to place some industry here, and I will bring this section down alongside the highway. I'm not going to do it at 90 degrees because I want it to look like it's going alongside the highway, and then we can bring this back to join down there. Just a small section for now, and that will do. Let's see what that does with the demand for industry. I have a feeling there's going to be some complaints for not enough workers here, but we can deal with that when that comes. The main thing that we're going to have to consider here, and they've got complaints already. What's happening here? Water and electricity issues. Do the highways not carry electricity then? I'm going to assume. They do not. I wasn't aware of that, so what we're going to have to do is join, I join this power line, put it underground, and we will join it to this road. I thought that would have worked, but it did not. Interesting. So why can we not join the power line up here? The end of the cable is not connected to the network. The electricity is passing through and it's connected to the road, which is connected to the buildings. So I'm very confused as to why that's not recognising the cable. Let's remove it and we'll try. I'm going to try an overground cable just to see if it works. And it won't let me connect. It won't let me connect anything from there. So that's odd. I don't know whether the power line needs to go to the transformer station, which doesn't make sense because I can attach power lines to the wind turbines, which then supply the road with electricity, the cables under the roads, which then I'm assuming supplies the whole city. So maybe I need to connect the roads over here to this road. Let's try that. Just want to check that that's not coming out of the water. No. So we'll connect it to this road. Right, that's connected. We can't see the cable. And let's press play and see if these guys get the electricity now. So they've got the electricity, but they haven't got the water. And that means I'm going to have to connect a pipe going from here as well. Which is fine for now. We'll connect the pipe up underground and then I'll just place it there for the time being. We can't see anything. This should supply the sewage and water to this section, which it has. Perfect. That means we've now supplied this area what it needs to grow. The industry section here, I'm thinking about keeping close to the highway and the same on this side. And then here we're going to start getting into some residential and some of the bigger city area where we're going to have offices and other things. So I want to put a roundabout in here. And then I want to do a 4-lane road. Let's do a 4-lane road. I'm just trying to plan how we want this road to go. So the main city is going to be in this area. So if we bring a 4-lane road going straight, and then I can do this in grids because I want the city to be in a grid section. And the 4-lane road's important, but I think it should start, potentially it should start from here actually, the 4-lane road. I'm not going to place this, but if we put the 4-lane road going down here, or do we put it along the coast? We're going to use a lot of 4-lane road because I want the traffic to be, I don't want the traffic to be busy, but the traffic is going to be busy. Let's bring the 2-lane road for now over to here. And then potentially the 4-lane road will start there where the end of that road is. And from here, I can bring this road off that way and the same down this way, which leaves some more areas to start building residential, which I'm not in any rush to do because the demand for residential is very, very low and it hasn't changed for a while. My population's increasing, but the demand for residential has not grown in a very long time, and I'm not sure on the reason why that is. So I'm going to leave that section open. I don't know what to do about this because this looks a bit messy. I could bring another road out and make it a roundabout again. I'm just trying to think because usually, let's put a roundabout here again. And we'll have to just demolish. I'm in underground mode. If we demolish these roads and then bring them back in. Make sure we have the 2-lane road selected because we don't want to put a 4-lane road in by mistake. Okay, that works. I'm trying to think, when you usually come into, most cities in Europe that you come into, you drive, when you come off the highway, you usually go through a industrial zone or a big commercial zone. There's many roundabouts that you have to cross because it slows down the traffic coming into the city, and there's so many roads coming off. So I don't think there's any issue with having roundabouts that close to each other. And then I can bring the next part of that off this way. The issue now is to think about where we want the roads to go. Because I haven't unlocked these tiles yet, it's very difficult to plan where these roads are going to be placed. I don't want to have everything squashed into one grid. Let's turn this into almost a triangle. That's not what I wanted. We want the straight road tool to there, and then bring that in line with that one. Just a small industrial sector. Triangle shaped road. That's okay for now. This city is, some of the builds that I've seen people do in these cities are really good with the open space that they have. It looks realistic, it's very well planned. The way this city started, I think I regret choosing this map. I think it's very difficult to plan out the streets of the city. In the next series I do, I plan to make a plan of the roads and how I want it done, because I want to make almost a realistic city. Even though that's what I'm trying for here, I want to go for maybe replicating an actual city from Google Maps and trying to follow their roads and make it as it is, that will be a big challenge, but I think it would look good if it's done correctly. And then in another series I will be choosing a different map and trying to build out these sections just by myself without following a map and trying to do that. So now I'm just going to jump back in quickly and remove some of these commercial zones that are complaining. And I have just pressed play again, but I'm going to pause that and remove these buildings. So many of them that aren't getting enough customers. Just make sure I dezone all of these. The trouble is sometimes remembering where you've destroyed because it doesn't show up properly. We'll remove some from up here. This is actually high rent and that's not enough customers. I'm going to leave this one because all of this area should be turning into residential soon. I just don't know how long it's going to take. So let's press play again. We've got this constructing down the bottom here, which should be bringing the demand down. And if you see here, I'm getting more and more of these notifications pop up. And I don't know whether this is a bug in the game, because I've removed maybe 7 or 8 of these stores and it's still happening. I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to delete these. And even one's just popped up now as I was speaking and the game's paused. There we go. So I've deleted a lot of the buildings there, which isn't the best thing in the game, and it's not something I want to do. I like to build and leave them standing forever, unless it's something I really have to change. So we'll see how this goes with the shops. There's not much more I can do. I think for this one, I'm going to leave it there. It's been a very quick one. we have the industrial section over here already built. That was very quick. They're all producing what they need. We've just dropped back into negative money again. I potentially might look at building a power plant or a coal plant or something over here to start generating more electricity so we can sell it. That might be an option for the future. I will start looking at water and stuff as well to see if we're borrowing water from neighbours, because that was one of the reasons that I was in negative money to start with, because we had to keep borrowing. And then hopefully we'll hit 6,000 in the next episode population. We can unlock these tiles down here and start building out the city area. And this issue with the not enough customers, that needs to resolve itself. I know not much is developing in this top part at the moment, and it might seem a bit slow. That's because I don't want to just completely crowd this area until I build this section at the bottom here. The demand isn't growing, which I'm concerned about. And that's why. If the demand starts growing for residential, then this area will start becoming more built up. But for now, I'm going to leave it like that and concentrate on mapping out some of the roads down here, doing some of the aesthetic parts in this area, putting some trees down, maybe placing some more, maybe unlocking the college and placing that somewhere, and building out maybe some more farms in the next one. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for watching again, and please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.